While social media and search engines like YouTube are great places to find new listeners, today Adam Torres and I talk deeply about why it's important that we have a podcast, that we are consistently showing up for our audience, taking that time to dedicate to them, and how we as content creators can use this space as a way to get our thought leadership out there, grow our businesses, make some money, and so much more. Please join me in welcoming Adam to the podcast. Welcome to Podcasting Unlocked, the show for purpose-driven podcasters. I'm Alesia Galati, founder of Galati Media, and I'm here to share actionable strategies to help you amplify your message and grow your audience. Hello, Adam. Super excited to have you on the podcast. If you could start by telling everyone who you are, what you do, and a bit about your podcast.
Alesia, so happy to be here. Finally on the show. Put me in the game, coach. We're talking podcasting. That's what I love talking about. Well, I'm proud to announce that I can add to my title and what I do. I'm the best-selling author of 1 Billion Podcast. Book just came out, and I'm a podcaster from way back, or I shouldn't say way back, but I've been doing it for going on 9 years now. I've done over 6,000 episodes. I host 8 different shows. They're all different niches. And I also have other shows in production. You know, if it's God's will, then you should see me on some TV shows next year as well, and some other things that are in production. So we will see, but I've been in the space for a bit now. And one of my favorite topics to talk about is podcasts. You can't get me to shut up about it. So I think I'm in the right place. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. There's something about when you first start a podcast, and I started my first podcast in 2018, but I was guesting back in like 2016, 17.
Yeah.
And there's just something about once you get bit by the podcast bug, like I'm on my 5th show and I have to remind myself constantly. I was literally telling my husband yesterday, we should start a podcast about conspiracy theories together. And he was like, oh, hell yeah, I would do it. And I'm like, I don't need more on my plate.
Can you call it fake news?
Right.
Like that should be the name of the podcast, fake news or not, or no. I'll leave as long as I preface it with, this might be fake news, but so people forget that part. So as long as I preface it, it's good. I can say whatever I want, right? Isn't that how it works, Alesia?
I mean, last I checked, people say whatever they want anyway. So, especially on podcasts.
Like that was Adam AI.
Right. Well, speaking of AI, as we were talking in the green room a little bit, you mentioned something that I think is really important, especially for us as content creators that are really trying to make a difference and separate ourselves a little bit from the AI slop. And not that all AI stuff is slop, but some of the podcasting stuff is. And the AI slop that is being created around podcasting. So tell me a little bit more about some of the shifts that you're personally making around AI for your own shows.
Well, I'm a big fan of even the slop. I'll throw it out and I'll tell you why I'm a fan of the slop. All it's doing is expanding the market. So what'll happen is like, think about like, we will, and my team's working on this. We just don't want to release it yet. There'll be an AI Adam, an actual AI Adam that's hosting and also doing the interview. So there'll be a set number of questions, things they can do. But on the other side, so that's one side, and there'll be a person that likes that type of content, that wants that certain feel, and they're okay with it. On the other side of things, though, for the shows that I host, not AI Adam, I'm going the opposite direction. I told my team to leave the ums, the ahs. I'm intentionally making mistakes now where I would have been like, I would have cut those out before. I'm like, no, leave that in there. So my team knows I actually want the audio to sound more raw than it once did, because I feel like a lot of people are going to misuse AI. They're going to clean up their shows too much. You know, it's going to take some of the feeling out of it, to where I want, so when somebody listens to that, they're going to be like, this guy obviously like is there. This is him. Like, I feel it. And they don't have to like think about that. So I'm adding ums and ahs. Toastmasters, you trained me to not do the ums and ahs.
Right.
And leave that one in, Alesia. No.
All right. We're going to do it. We're going to leave it all in today. I think that it's a good test too, right? To see what and let us know, give us feedback on how you feel about shows that keep in those ums and ers. And I always like to make sure people know where they can leave comments. YouTube is always a great place under the video, or if you're listening on Spotify, there's a comment section there. A lot of people don't know about the comment section on Spotify episodes.
Don't sleep on that. Do not sleep on the comment section on Spotify.
Exactly.
Like, really?
Let us know. So yeah, it's so true. Like leave us those comments. Let us know what you're thinking about these,
especially about the show titles.
all these great title ideas, or give us ideas. It'll be great. And so yeah, I think that it's so important that we are true to ourselves and what our own values are, right? Like you said, there might be some AI ones that are more tailored towards the people that actually want that kind of content. But the ones that you are showing up live for yourself, like as yourself, I should say.
I like disclosure. Just
Yeah.
disclose. Say what it is. Say what it is. Don't try to act like it isn't what it is. And you're fine. Authenticity. You can be authentic with AI. It's fine.
Yes, totally agree. Now, you mentioned you've done quite a bit of interviews as well.
Over 6,000. I just started guesting. And the reason I started guesting was, well, I've been doing this a long time ago. And the reason I started guesting was I felt that a lot of, I don't accept that so many podcasters quit.
Right.
Like they stop at whatever that is, 24, 26 episodes. And what I found was most people, one of the things that I'm known for as a podcast futurist is like predicting and seeing what's going to happen next in podcasting. So I have those type of conversations a lot. And the number one thing that everybody's like, aren't podcasts saturated? Aren't there too many and this and that? People say this all the time. And I was getting so annoyed. And then I would look at it. And that was why I wrote the book, by the way, 1 billion podcasts. The thesis in the book is that there's going to be 1 billion podcasts. And that right now, like right as we stand, we're basically in like year one of YouTube.
Right.
And there's some reasons for that in the book that I go through. I'll just give you one brief one. Dynamic advertising is just pretty new. So what that means for those that are newer to podcasting or maybe thinking about starting one, think about when you watch, I'll give it really quickly. Think about when you watch YouTube and you see an ad pop up. And you're like, oh, okay, great. Well, think about it this way. That creator, they just had to create the video and publish that. Once they did that, YouTube takes care of all the advertising and it's in one central location. So to speed up the story a bit, what does that mean? Creators from almost day one, it was 2007, 2008 that they came up with their partners program, that when they did that, you create a small show, whatever you create, you can start making some money. And those pennies are what keeps people on the platform, and small shows become big shows over time. With podcasting, didn't exist. So you had what were called baked in ads. And what that means just briefly is think about when you listen to the radio and the host reads it, that's what it is. But in podcasting, where that hurts us, for a small show specifically, is you got to go sell that advertiser. Number one. Number two, once you read that ad, it's done. Your monetization on that was done. Not anymore. With the adoption of advertising through dynamic ads, now just like YouTube, you can now monetize a smaller show, or you can't actually. Your show has to be pretty good size now on YouTube, but for podcasts, you can still monetize a small show. And now that's different. It's not like you can just get paid to record and to distribute. That's different. So what's going to happen is more people become aware of this, and then you start thinking about places like Africa. You start thinking about places like India. You start thinking about some of these other markets where they're solving the energy problem. I interviewed somebody the other day who is the founder of an energy company. So I mean like electricity when I say energy. In Africa, and his company, they've installed and brought electricity to over 10,000 homes at a price of less of $1 a month.
Wow.
There's going to be 300 million people brought online that are not currently with power in different areas. So when you think about that, when you think about the ad networks, podcasting is the biggest gold mine there is right now. And we're in the beginning of it. And for those that listen to this episode or read my book, you don't believe it, 1 billion podcast, you read that book and you're going to understand what you have in your hands. This is the biggest opportunity of our lifetime as it relates to media. Those that stick with it, those that create, some of them are going to create generational wealth, actually.
Yeah, I totally agree. One example that I like to give for dynamic ads is I was listening to my kids and I, we like to listen to on like especially big road trips, or if we have to take the hour trip to the zoo and stuff. We'll listen to Nat Geo Kids has a podcast called Greeking Out, and it's all about Greek mythology. Super entertaining,
that's cool.
Super interesting. And we were listening to an episode, and it was a few years old because we wanted to start at the beginning.
Mhm.
And they were like, "Our new book is coming out soon. Here's how you can go pre-order." And I was like, "Ooh, if it's the ad is airing now, it's probably already out." Sure enough, it
Yes.
was a dynamic ad, and you actually had to pre-order even though we were listening to an ad that was 2
Mm.
years, or a podcast, I should say, that was 2 or 3 years old. They were able to
Mhm.
have that ad specifically for their company, right? So even thinking beyond, all right, for business owners, we can
Yep.
use these dynamic ads to be very strategic about, oh, I have a workshop next month. It doesn't matter if they're listening to episode 1 or 100, they're
Yep.
getting that ad served to them in real time. And I think there's just so much opportunity for it that we don't even think about. And like to your point,
Yeah.
there's
Well,
a
I
market.
do because it's my primary business. So when I think about like for the hobbyists out there, which I'm okay with the hobby, this is how this started for me. This was a little side project. I tell people like my first 300 episodes weren't even edited. I just put them up. You could have called it Adam recorded a phone call on his phone and uploaded it podcast. And I'd literally be on the show like, I think this is a podcast. I don't know. I'm just talking and we're recording it and it's uploaded. And if you're listening, I guess it qualifies as a podcast. I don't know. Like I was train wreck. I didn't even know what it was, but we built an audience from that. And now my goal is with all those people so the avatar that this book was written for, people that have podcasts but haven't monetized or don't know quite how to. That's number one. Number two, those that are curious about podcasting but really they don't know why. Like there's so many different things, social media, should they be bigger on Instagram or here or there? My number one argument for that, I make many in the book, but number one argument is there's no algorithms to fight with. You
Right.
know how many platforms I've built, Alesia, through the years? Let me take you through them briefly. Remember when Facebook groups worked?
My
Oh,
goodness,
you
yes.
spend all this time and money and you build Facebook groups. And then what does Facebook do? They say, oh, you got to pay us to reach your group. I'm like, what are you talking about? I built this group. I got to pay you now or my content's not going to go in front of them.
Yeah.
There goes one algorithm against you. The Facebook machine wants their money. So what's another one? Another one would be, remember when LinkedIn business pages work?
Yep.
Oh, those that are old school, they remember. Now, guess what you got to do? You got to pay LinkedIn business to get your reach of the people that are following your page.
Yeah.
Didn't used to be like that. Remember when Instagram used to work to where it was actually chronological? And so you didn't follow as many people, but if somebody was posting a bunch of times, you just unfollow them. Like, this person's crazy.
Right.
I'm going to unfollow them.
Too much of your content.
But you got to actually see who you cared about. I follow like 300 people on Instagram, and Instagram doesn't send me any of them. They send a couple of them. I'm like, I don't even follow that many people. So if that's the case, then where's all the people? What do I get? Ads. What do I get? Push suggestions and other things. I'm not against it, but the reason I'm bringing this up is because remember, all of these things that I'm talking about, their job isn't to promote your content or your show or you at all. Their job is to keep you on their platform and monetize by having your eyeball look at that screen and their ad and hopefully click on something. That's their job. So if that's the case, how do you take control? If you can only do one thing, what should it be? Podcasting, no algorithm. Guess what? If somebody subscribes to your show, they're going to get that push notification and they're going to listen to your next episode. I would argue, and some people say no, some people say yes on this, but I would argue podcasting should be number one. Your email newsletter would be number two, because even email deliverability is going down.
Yeah.
Because of junk mail and this and that. Podcasting is the only thing that if somebody hits that and they're getting a notification or that push notification, or if you're a consistent podcaster and let's say you're going to release every Tuesday, they're going to listen to it every Tuesday. At my company, one of the things we do is help people launch podcasts. We've launched over 250 shows. I see it for our clients that we launch shows for. We release on the same day every week, like clockwork. What happens is somebody builds a habit. They will listen to it every time it's released, normally within 24 hours.
Yep.
That's how you control your audience. That's how you control your time and what's worthwhile.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I could not agree more. I just got a message. I have a hobby podcast all about reading romance. It's called We Read Smut. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's what I usually like to tell people. And one of the things that I was on my Instagram this morning and I got a DM from someone and they were like, I just listened because the season 2 finale, I take December off and then I come back in January for season 3. I've only been doing it for a year. And
I
like
love it. I
just released
love how
it.
systematic you are, by the way, because that
Gives me
shows me
space.
you're gonna win. Like, period. You're gonna win. And your audience knows. They know. And that's a commitment. Like, that's a
Yeah.
commitment you make. If you say you're gonna release and when you're not gonna release or the season's over and the next they're waiting. I remember when we do a daily show, and I remember a long time ago when we missed a day or like 2 days I was traveling or something like that. We got emails and they're like, "Is Adam okay?"
Is he alive?
And they're like, yeah, and it was like we had some turnover internally, and the person didn't like the new person. Maybe they didn't schedule right, whatever. Not throwing anybody under the bus, but for whatever reason, there was a glitch. We didn't release for like 2 days. People were worried; they thought something happened, and I'm like, whoa, like that's. It's not powerful as in I have power. What it is it's powerful to have a connection with your audience and to make that commitment to them and to understand that you're helping them and that they value your content. Like, that's amazing.
Yes. That's it. It is. And you can make that deeper connection, I think, too, beyond what social media is, right? More and more, the attention span is like, where's the
Mhm.
dopamine hit? And if
Yeah.
we, as maybe marketers of our podcasts, are not putting
Mhm.
out those dopamine hits constantly, then
Yeah.
that's, and even the people who are there, I mean, they're there. I know I'm on usually on social media to be like, what are new book recommendations and where are the animal
Mm.
videos? Like, that
Mhm.
is what I'm there for.
Yeah.
Not necessarily
It's
looking for new
And it's not
podcasts.
apples to apples. So, like,
Right.
I do the math. I have a comparison that I've been doing for a long time. Most of the stuff that I wrote in this book, by the way, was from dinner conversations. Like, I have these same conversations over and over. I wasn't even planning to write a book, but I was just so annoyed by people not understanding certain things. And that's when I write books. So, this is 9 years of planning of just these accumulated things. What I wrote about in the book was I juxtaposed the Instagram interaction with a podcast. And so many podcasters quit. I'll talk to those for a bit. Let's say you got 10 downloads. Let's say you're doing if you're doing a 30-minute episode, that's 10 people that spend 30 minutes. That's 300 minutes of their life they gave you. Juxtapose that to Instagram, which is what I did in the book. If 100 people like your post, maximum 100 seconds, we're not even talking 2 minutes. We're not talking 2 minutes of attention span. Like 1,000 people looked, 1,000 seconds, nothing. It still doesn't compare. If 10 people listen to your show and you have 10 downloads, you should be very happy because those 10 people, guess what? They could have watched a 30-minute episode on Netflix that had production value of $50,000 or $500,000. Instead, they listened to your show. So, like, I don't feel you got to respect the craft and what you're doing. You got 100 downloads. That means, and for some that are listening, that might sound like a lot. For some that are listening, that might not sound like enough, or some may not be satisfied with that. I'll be thrilled when you have 100 downloads. Why? Think about it. I like to tell people, think about it like you're doing a keynote.
Mm.
So it's literally like you're doing a keynote. If you're standing in front of 100 people giving a 30-minute speech and they're giving you their attention, it's amazing. That's exactly what the podcast is. You're standing in front of 100 people giving them your keynote for a half an hour if it's a 30-minute episode. It's a lot of time. That's a lot of attention, and it's a different relationship. And I'm not against Instagram.
Right.
I'm a micro little baby itty bitty influencer. I think I got like 60 or 70 or 80,000 followers. So I'm a little baby on Instagram, but we have good interaction and I like to put out a certain type of content. So I like to do some behind the scenes and things like that. So I'm not against Instagram. I want everybody to be clear, but I'm talking about if you could do both, do both. But if you had to prioritize and you can only do one thing, the podcast should be your core of everything that you do because it's also ownership, your IP.
Yeah.
You don't, and I'm not against YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. I think we got like 8,000 followers. I'm a little baby on YouTube. We're podcast first, YouTube second, but I do like YouTube and I consume YouTube content. But guess what? Guess what happens on YouTube for all of you that are out there trying to build that? I put out a video once that YouTube didn't agree with. It was a very fair video and it was an interview. They didn't like who I interviewed. They were flagged on YouTube. So guess what? I got a community violation or strike or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
So get this. YouTube wants to close up your shop. They're closing it up, baby. All that time, all that money, all that effort. You try and call YouTube. I dare you. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. They don't care. So your podcast, you own that. That's your IP. Nobody, you say whatever you want to say on that thing. They're going to put a little E and say it's explicit, and that's that.
Yeah. I agree. I took for Q4 where we're recording and the episode's releasing of 2025, I wanted to do a test to see because I was finding that I was spending so much time promoting my podcast, promoting my content, promoting all these things
Yeah.
on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and like paying my team to do this. And I
Of
was
course.
like, for my podcast specifically, and for getting clients, I hadn't gotten a client from social media since like 2023. So 2
Mm.
years of doing the same thing and expecting different results and not getting any results. And I
Yeah.
was like, let's do a test. Let's see how this works. And then I did where I was not posting about the podcast at all and instead focused my energy on guesting on other podcasts and doing
Mm.
workshops in small communities. I have had more
Wow.
connection calls and I have had more potential
Oh my
client
gosh.
calls
I love it.
doing that.
And you know what's interesting about that to me too is that it will drive the growth to your social media.
Yep.
That's the funny part about it. It's like people are out there trying to, the difference, and I hope this doesn't come across the wrong way, and maybe it will. So if you get all hurt over this, I'm sorry in advance. But bunch of fakers on Instagram and other places trying to be something or trying to fake or be this or that. The difference with a podcaster when you're creating a podcast, you're doing work.
Yeah.
You're in the business of what you're doing. So you creating people accept it and take it differently. Just like your radio disc jockey. You turn on the radio, somebody's talking, he's got a job, he's working. That's the way it's viewed. It's broadcasting. It's a different type of, it's a profession. And I'm not against, by the way, I'm not against YouTube. People make tons of money on all these things. But I'm just talking about like, when you focus in and you do that one thing and you go out and reach, one of the things I'm known for is I do a lot of in-person stuff. So I do a lot of, and one of the things, if you've ever met me in person, then you probably got one of these. I make poker chips and I give different swag and stuff like that. Handed out tens of thousands of these poker chips
That's
with
so
our
cool.
show and with the QR code on the back. And when people have them, I've literally met somebody like in Singapore, then see them in like Las Vegas or somewhere else. And I hand them the poker chip. They're like, oh my gosh, I got one. This is great. I got tuna. Hilarious. I was on a random red carpet at some film festival and I hand somebody, I meet one and the guy stops me and he's like, because I give him and his wife one. And then the wife starts laughing. And then the guy stops me and he's like, she has one of these in every purse. We see you all.
Oh my
Like,
God.
I was cracking up. I'm like, really? How many times have we met?
Sorry. I feel like I should know you at this point.
Well, and she's laughing because no, not even that. I just thought it was funny. She's laughing because she was like, yes, and this one's for this person. I was like, so how does this work? Does she get to buy a new one every time she fills
Right.
up? I'm like, because that can get expensive. I see what purse she's carrying. He was cracking up. But the point I'm making here, sure, poker chips are fun, whatever. And you may or may not realize you're doing this, but I'll say it for everyone else, is that you're creating experiences and moments with people.
Yeah.
And so what I get, there's no business information on this poker chip. It's a souvenir. And that a lot of times I'll be like, oh, this is a great card. There's no business information or anything on there. And they're shocked. And they're like, what? It's not for, I said, no, it was just a souvenir, just so we can remember when we met. That's all. And that's it. There's no email address or like when you scan the QR code, it's not going to be like, here was my phone number. It doesn't put them in any funnel or anything else. I can do all those things. That's not the point of that though. So what I'm getting at with this is if you're a podcaster out there looking to grow your show, create a moment with somebody.
Yeah.
The difference between other people and you hosting a podcast is that when you're out there recording, you focus on recording, other people are listening. You're creating your show and honing your craft and getting better as a host yourself. When you do that, the universe and the audience can't help but reward you because they're thinking about you.
Yes. Oh, so true. This has been so much fun, Adam. If people are like, yes, I need more Adam in my life, where can people buy your book, connect with you, listen to your show, all that fun stuff?
Easiest Instagram, Ask Adam Torres. Go on Instagram. There's a link tree there that leads to everything. In addition to the new book, 1 Billion Podcasts, which I hope you get, you pick up a copy. In addition to that, we have a bunch of free ebooks. We got obviously the shows. I like to say as a whole, we put out more free content than any other company on the planet. Don't believe me? Go check it out. Click on the link tree, Ask Adam Torres on Instagram. You can see websites. You can see all kinds of different things. And if you have a show idea and you want to launch a show, DM me. Love to hear your pitch.
Awesome. Sounds great. And we'll have links for all of that in the show notes and the YouTube description for anyone doing other things as they're listening to us. Adam, thank you so much. This was so much fun.
Oh, thank you. I love it. Thank you so much. You're great.